Okie. So there was when I see, especially things right in the beginning of the day, I can see really strong codes in the matrix. Everything's always showing you everything that you believe and unconsciously believe is always right in front of you, showing you what is inside your subconscious, unconscious mind, because you're projecting this whole experience. So driving here, I see a very tall crew member. I call the electrical team, the air conditioning team, all the teams, like our crew, like they're showing us what's being worked on in the bigger being. And so there was this very tall white, and I just like peeked at the name. It was like Intel, at the very top of the light pole. It was adjusting that electrical circuit, putting a new transformer, which is what we're doing today. So we're looking at the very top source projector and attractor, meaning at the top of your torus, the aura that you be, the toroidal field, everything's a torus, every cell, every light particle in this electromagnetic experience. To create a particle, it's electromagnetic. It grounds the wave of spirit electricity, and it down to a magnet. And as soon as it comes down a spiral to a magnetic grid, like the earth, it particleizes. So it's wave looking for a magnet to spiral down. Wave looking for a magnet to spiral down. Wave looking for a magnet to spiral down. It's spiraling, stacking up all these light particles in front of you from what you've memorized. Most people are memorizing things unconsciously, because that's the way this avatar works. It's constantly memorizing and then spitting it back out, memorizing and spitting it back out. That's what we call biofeedback. Whatever you put into the projector will project out in front of you and show you, and it'll come right back. So you're constantly recycling this energy. And most people, like I said, are doing this unconsciously, because that's just the way this reality creation works. Until you learn that you're a reality creator, you just think, oh, this is happening to me, this just happened to me. It's all very like passive, and you're just like being drugged by the sail, like, oh, here it goes, this life. So when we get from these lower gateways, 1, 2, and 3, of our energy centers, survival mainly, fear-based programming, subconscious programming, when we start to awaken to our quantum abilities of being a reality creator, we go and evolve, and we're like feeling really great, feeling really good, we're flying high, and then something interesting may happen, because what is in this aura is memorized material from your conception, from the time you're conceived. If we're just speaking to this life, from your conception, the birth, right in the outer 6-foot aura, is this very strong program of conception and birth, because that was the beginning of the spiraling in. As you get to midline, this is now, as if you're 40 years old, this would be 20 years old. This would be 30 years old. This would be when you're 10 years old. So your aura is holding all this programmed material, as well as strong programs are in the fascia and the tissues that have strong charges, right? And the most strongest charge is fear. It's very dense, it's heavy. And so when most people are living their life and projecting the reality out of these first 3 door holes, meaning you've got so much, you're vested so much in the material plane, and you're vested so much in, well, I got to survive and I got to make this next choice, not knowing that you're the creator. Every choice you make is memorizing those choices, and then it's going to spit it back out every year, every cycle of that common denominator. So when you're doing that, most of the time people are not doing that from fear. Usually the first 3 door holes: survival, consumption, 2nd door hole, 3rd door hole, power. Those first 3 topics, most people are living from that place. And making choices from that place. From conception to birth, to that earlier time, usually, if you had just like a really not to say you didn't have a loving family, families love you all, but if it was interesting spiritual growth that you decided to come here on, meaning that was memorized in your bigger packet of experiential avatar, beyond the avatar, incarnation collective that you be, meaning you're like, I want to go back. Let me go back. I can figure this one out. Right? It's already woven in your fabric of existence. And you then particleize and say, I want to go back and get back into the game. So you've got, let's say you arrived, like I was saying, and you arrived and it was just very loving and peaceful and happy and joyful, and you were born on a river, and, you know, there's cows mooing, and, you know, your parents are metaphysical. They've been around a few times, you know, they know they're eternal. You know, you may have like some really, and they were abundant. They knew that everything was abundance. They knew all these codes already. Then typically these type of children, you know, they've got really nice aura packets, and it just like things slide right in. Like my daughter, things just, it's like, yeah. What do you want? Okay, there it is. You know, like, okay, it was fast. However, if we're cleaning up our field and cleaning up the subconscious mind of earlier programming that we usually have no idea about, like most people don't have full conscious memories of in utero in the first 7 years. My husband does. He has very strong memory. He could tell you everybody's phone number from every age. Like, he can tell you exactly how many of everything was. You know, it's got this like really interesting brain. So wherever you are in the subconscious, unconscious experience, which is what we're going to get into today, you know, you may have some additional cleaning up to do. And when you are in this expanded experience, I mean, we arrived here to super consciously talk about money. That's a very expanded experience. We're like taking, you know, like I said, the woke and broke to being rich and righteous. And if we're at the level of the game where, you know, our evolution, our enlightenment has been to literally leave here and just be projecting, you know, you say something and it arrives. If that's all that you where you're at in the name of the game, like you're abundant. You are rich and righteous. You don't need even to have the middleman of a money that holds just energy, that holds something to exchange. You just can project it right there in front of you. So whatever phase you're at is what I want to say. Like, there's no wrong turn, and the only wrong turn is that you believe it's wrong. So if you believe that something about this is wrong, and I'll say that the screen or the advertisement that came on seemed a little dicey, you know. I know I got some subconscious cleaning up to do. Like when I was like, really? You want a briefcase of money? This seems interesting. So I'm going to do some deep digging when we sit and meditate for a minute. I want to like ask some questions about that, because of this projection that I put on the screen literally was a dicey ad. You know, it was for like the mafia, right?
That's how it feels. Like
yeah.
Like theft.
Well, I just got like flush. So there's something there, right? It's in my field.
It's funny because originally what that brought up for me was a childhood movie called Blank Check.
Yeah, good movie.
And like he literally somehow gets into a situation where they think, you know, he's supposed to receive this check, and he gets a check for $1 million, and he manifests his entire house and everything. But there's a briefcase with money.
Okay, so we'll watch that as well. Homework.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I was going to say, you come to a super conscious experience, you know you're doing something very deliberate creation, and something interesting happens. Then you know, okay, that I'm magnetic. I'm in this magnetic experience. What you seek is seeking you. Your success is magnetizing to you. Your success in every area of your life. Because you know who you are. You know this game. Like, you know that this is a biofeedback experience. Right? Spiraling down, comes back around. What you give out comes back to you. What you unconsciously have memorized in your subconscious is going to come to you. And it especially will arrive when you're going to expand. When you're going to expand, let me say that again, that which needs to be digested and dissolved and understood, be reknown new. You want to reknow it new. Then you can go, what's right about this? Because you drew it to you to be dissolved so that you have more power back in your playing field to project reality how you say you want it to be. So if I'm putting a big bunch of new information in, I got to get rid of some of this old, outdated, subconscious memorized material that for most of my life, if I'm 50, if most of my life I wasn't even working on this, then anything that I'm literally pouring in this new information, anything of a resonant match to the information we're bringing in today, anything unconscious, this is usually not many people can understand what's even in this part of your aura, is gonna be coming biofeedback and coming back to be digested. And you have awakened eyes. You have spiritual eyes now. You're like, oh, this is really cool. What is this really about? You like the investigator hat comes on, take it personally, you stay neutral, you deal with it, and all the magic happens. Everybody's there in your favor because everybody always is for your favor. This whole cast of characters is for you. It's for your betterment. We're going to get into ethics and religion and all that in a minute. As the I am presence, the God presence, God loves you so much. You are pure love. Everything is for you. There's nobody trying to punish you. It is just some unconscious material that you memorized as punishment, or some unconscious material that your ancestors did, or some weird movie you watched. Be mindful of these movies you watch, because you program yourself with it. You can use it super consciously to see what is programmed, because whatever you're watching is obviously programmed in your field. You wouldn't have projected on a screen. But you're super conscious about it, so you're like, well, everything that was, I now understand, and everything I don't, that's not for my highest benefit, dissolve, dismantle. Every movie, let's do that. Every movie, every show you've ever watched that is not for your highest good, that does not bring you glory and grace and greater understanding, just dissolve that out. You were unconscious about it. Phew.
So can we do that with my experience?
Oh, we're getting to your experience.
Okay. Okay.
You always delete. You're amazing. And let this experience be the last of its kind.
Yes, please. And I'm just going to say, okay, what's right about this? I'm
yes.
just going to keep saying, that was for me. What's right about this?
It's always, everything is right about it because you're bringing it home.
Okay.
There's nothing in this grand dream that we're in. It is a dream. And it'll become even more funny show of a dream, of a blip it. You're like, oh my God, that was so fast.
So I did this for the class.
Yes. So everywhere you keep bringing stuff, not yet. Everywhere you keep bringing stuff to the class to be digested.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure we say it in a way that doesn't program them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Any questions so far? Any ahas so that I'll just get re-grounded? Any body sensations?
The lower back started hurting.
So lower back, the support, being supported. Okay, dissolving all that, gathering what's necessary, what's needed. I just wanted to bring up the body sensations because we're about to pull up some stuff and we're going to digest it with grace and ease and just transfigure it. No, it's so easy. It's so easy. So you're magnetic, right? You can keep reprogramming things to be easier. Everything that you do is easy. Everything that you learn is easy. Spiritual growth is so easy for y'all. Like, you got this. We're like rock stars. And this is a magnetic experience. You don't need to chase anything anymore. You're magnetic. So let everything come to you. What you seek seeks you. Your success seeks you. Your client seeks you. Everything that you thought you were creating, actually, someone was actually sitting there going, I hope this exists. I hope this apothecary course exists. Right? It's seeking you. It's coming to you. Okay. And then what you believe is what you experience. So if you don't like what you just experienced, we have to recreate any beliefs connected to it. So let's get into some of this. Beliefs are files. Every time you make a strong belief about something, you're creating a file that then the subconscious mind will go on autopilot about and be like, yay, they created a file on that. And so we want to find out what's in the subconscious mind and then become conscious of it. And then become super conscious creators, meaning put new belief systems in so that we start dominating the subconscious mind. So we really become super conscious creators. Then you can consciously go on autopilot and just smooth sailing on a Sunday afternoon. Everything good always comes to me, right? As soon as I woke up this morning, everything always good comes to me. I pile in cash around Daniel. I pile in cash around me. I pile in cash, now more including the center. Not that it has to be about cash, but that's what's making this world go round right now, and it makes it a lot more fun when we've got cash. But a very baseline is everything works out for me. Everything works out for me. Everything works out for everyone. I might think about a few of you. I think, my closest family members, they're doing amazing. They're thriving. Everywhere they go, things are magically happening for them. So I'm immediately getting a handle of this amazing machine and making sure that it's starting off on a good spin. So you want to notice that. You want to notice what you immediately think about. I was in Jana's mind. Can I say what I was in your mind? You were worrying about stuff. And I was like, then I was flipping the script. Wait, no, whose is this? I felt like I was Jana. I'm laying in bed. I'm Jana. No, I'm not. And I'm like, no, everything's taken care of. Like, things are coming, everything in your favor. I was just like, dude, boo, boo. Okay. So what are you receiving? When it comes to receiving, when I went on my walk this morning, Spirit was like, okay, like they were showing me this Source Projector. This is the pineal gland. It projects the reality. It's an eyeball, an inner eye. It literally is an eyeball when you have anatomy. And it's coming in and it's projecting. I'm Source Projector. I'm literally conscious. Any unconscious or subconscious things, when it comes to receiving, you need to start realizing, are you okay to receive through all your bank accounts? Do you have some weird beliefs around? And make sure you really feel good about taxes if you're paying them. Whatever you believe is true, just do it and do it right. I jumped out of all that. I spent lots of hours of time, almost a year and a half studying ecclesiastical trust and all kinds of trusts. So I have in my heart, my knowing about all the sesquiu trusts. I deep dove and I have new belief systems around everything. So if I didn't have done that study and understand, otherwise I'm just going to rewrite the whole thing. This is what I do. And then I pull it back in. What I'm saying is going to be the way the reality is going to be. I'm an energy mechanic. And then I'll get, and then I'll see, oh, they're passing a law, no more income tax. Like they're doing that right now. Florida is just pushing it forward. I'm working on that. I've been working on that. So you want to be able to receive really easily. If you believe that unconsciously, if you heard your parents say this or someone told you in your life that if you make a lot of money, you're going to have to pay a lot of taxes. You may get to like, well, I'm a millionaire. You're like, I'm owning it. I'm embodying it. But yet you don't allow the millions in because some unconscious belief says if you make a lot of money, you have to pay a lot of taxes. For some reason, you've got a block on that. So very silly unconscious things get slid into your files. And then you will push away large amounts of money because of the things we're going to talk about. Or you'll make it just weird stuff happen. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So anything that I brought up so far that you're willing to dissolve, dismantle, release, just so you can see easier when you keep working on this for the next 24 hours. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll get to yours at the end.
That's it.
Well, they just want me to, because I can see it coming in, and it's kind of like a medium when you got everybody in the room. It's like, okay.
That's funny.
Did I get all the receiving? Yeah, like make sure you're clear on your. We did wallets. You weren't here for that, but you might ask, how many wallets do I need? Meaning, do you have Zeal? Do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? Do you have, several wallets in crypto? Because just like the subconscious, or not subconscious, well, just the brain, the neural synapses, when you think a new thought or write a new program, if you don't think about it, let's say use the 21-day recipe, then it goes away. So if you don't use that wallet, in the projection, in the hologram, it floats away. It can't project. So you got to keep jiggling things. That's what I tell people. If something's not happening, especially when you get to this level of the game, you have to jiggle the energy. You got to at least think about it, or you'll get with another source creator and you're like, hey, did you do that? And you're like, jiggle, jiggle. And then all of a sudden, I was talking, Susie out there, and I'm like, where's your RV? And she's like, I don't know. Jiggle, jiggle. They call. Oh my God, they're, yeah, we just got to jiggle it for each other. Get the energy, get the projector to come back in and bring everything flowing again. So check your wallets. Do you need all those wallets? Is the majority of the currency going to come through a certain wallet for certain things? I have certain wallets bring in certain types of things. Sales. Books come in one. Audios come in the other. Courses come in the other. At first, I've been living most of this incarnation with just operating under, Lost to Tina Marie Tiernan as doing business as. And that's all I had until I learned all this stuff with the trusts. So when I came to the game with getting, you need to get all these bank accounts and all these trusts, I'm like, what are they for? I couldn't even see because I didn't have enough wisdom or knowledge or clarity to actually identify what was going on until as things started happening, and then I would watch the money spiral in a certain way, and Spirit would say, okay, we'll put that in this account. So I still don't fully get all of it yet at the electrician at this level, but I'm just telling you, when you sit at Source Seat, you're going to start to see the way these things will want to come in, and just follow those instructions. And it doesn't have to be complex. It could just be one wallet. I think one of you last week or whatever it was had one wallet. Great. But you want to know how it's going to come in. You don't have to. Here's the thing, what's going on, what I notice. People, on YouTube and things like that are talk about manifestation. You think it, you become it, it shows up. They're talking about it, and a lot of really amazing things are happening. You don't need all this, but I'm telling you, if you're willing to be this type of spiritual electrician for yourself, you will be laughing through this game, giggling, neutral. You'll just have such spiritual eyes that you won't believe how easy it was in that level of what's really going on here. You won't be unconscious when something happens. You'll be like with Medell, what's right about this? How did I create this one? Okay, so giving. Are you giving? Because as we give, this is a mirror. The holographic experience is a mirror. As you give, when things are being asked of you from the heart, and you know that you are beyond all this, it's just a middle experience, and you give willingly. If it throws up a little triggers in your field, you're find out. I knew the sand was magic. We do sand particle because it's crystals, and it's dropping off the heavy density in your field, whoever gets that assignment. How many sandbags did you have to do 1 year?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
He had to take them to all kinds of key places around the field.
Really?
Huge sandbags
Wow.
to drop off the essence that was keeping him weighed down
Wow.
from lifting and levitating. I just want to remind, I didn't get to tell you that.
Yeah.
That was a fun experience.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So when we get asked to do something, you know, if there's resistance there, it may be a spiritual no, like no, right? You're like elevating by getting to say no. There's a time and a place where no is a giving, because you're not, you know, enabling. You're saying no because it's an old pattern. You're finally being like, nope, that's not it, because you do want to lift to a higher existence. And then that character that you had to say no to, they're God, dressed up in disguise. It's all good. They're like, yay, finally said no. They never have to show up again. I mean, not like they're doing that. I'm joking. But sometimes you're like, yay, you know, like up in the heavens, you're like, oh my God. You know, if you have like those ears that can hear, your ancestors are like, she got it. So sometimes it's no, but are you doing good deeds? Are you living your purpose? Your purpose may be just smile people. It doesn't have to be doing, you know, tuning forks. All these things is your purpose. But are you giving? If you find that you're giving and you were really supposed to say yes, you know, get on a giving rampage. If there's been a time where I moved from having large charge to a cost, to things, to Spirit telling me I had to give and receive it from the heart and not put a charge or a cost to anything I was doing, but just to give willingly, keep giving, just keep giving, and everything would be added on to me, as it always is, and it was. And it always is. But it was a part of like a real unwinding of my heart. And when you're in that phase, and a leveling up of that is to do suggested donations. Still have the strong worth. You know, if you hear that it's worth $5,000, keep it at $5,000. If that's what the download told you, but yet someone comes to you and they're like, I can't afford that, but I totally want an energy exchange with you. Yes. You keep doing that. You keep showing up for those who are showing up to you. And you keep giving your gifts. Then you've got an open heart. The heart literally is like, it's that center point of this toric field. So it keeps you grounded. It keeps the aura really big and large. Remember the mind torus from the projector is a very 6-foot aura. The heart torus, when you actually start moving and making decisions and choices from your heart, it's got 5,000 times that. You could project the reality and be a world builder when you're working from here. When you're working in tandem from the projector and the heart, you got the whole existence. So make sure you're giving and receiving from the heart. And again, everything is magnetic to you. So when you say an intention and you're strong about it, you're building repetition with it. You know, I'm a millionaire in cash, or I was analyzing this morning on the drive, because I was like, I keep saying I'm a multimillionaire in cash, a billionaire in credit. But am I really that? I was like, I am that? No, my trusts magnetize multi-million dollars of cash, and my trusts are billionaires in credit. I'm a trust, not even I am a trustee. The name Elastine Maritarian is a trustee that moves that currency around. So I might tweak that a little bit. But go ahead.
Heard, I hold the trust.
I hold the trust.
That's so interesting.
Right, the trust of the heart.
Yeah.
You know? So, but what I was going to say, whatever you're saying, or you're calling in, you're intending, then it's going to be given to you. It has to. You just spoke it. You're the whole thing. You're all of this. It comes in. It's just, but can you see the opportunity? So you're going to go to the tire place. You're going to meet somebody. I mean, every single thing that seems like an obstacle is actually the opportunity for the things to come in. And we can start, like I said, be more super conscious about it by cleaning up the subconscious, so that when you do have this seemingly obstacle, there's no longer obstacles. What do we rename them? If they were like really fun every time. Games, yeah. Then you just see the game, the activations, and you're like, oh yeah, we're on one, you know, and you're just like, this is so cool. Synchronicities, really, right? So then you can see the opportunities. You know that that's bringing some part of the puzzle in because it's so obvious. It's like literally the on air sign goes on, like the area gets brighter. I can always tell when I'm on one of those like key moments. It's like they're like cue lights. And you're like, what is going on? They bring out balloons. Had that happen. Okay. So if you called it in, be aware that everything is part of that. It's wanting to come in. Can you be aware enough and to go with the flow enough to stay in the heart and trust that everything's part of it? And that if it seemed like it was a challenge, that actually it was a big sandbag called challenge, and it was density, it was light particles, soul essence, akashic zeros and ones, memorized content that literally is like, hey, we gotta get this sandbag out. You just said you're gonna have $1 million come in. If this sandbag doesn't move, the opportunity doesn't fully get to arrive. So whatever your challenge is that shows up, you know, we also talk about, it's like the old version you and the new version you, the big you. Somehow those old belief systems collide with the new belief systems. And so sometimes that looks like a challenge happens as you're going to expand. Just, it's like, you know, some people, oh, you're being tested to see if you're actually going to jump. So you're testing yourself. But do you see the bigger scientific version of this? Is that in the aura, this is called like a plasmoid. It's all wound up information, a sandbag. That you go to expand around money, and then we're going to get to these things. Do you have false beliefs or beliefs, unconscious beliefs about God, religion, ethics, scripture, misunderstanding of things that were said? You know, we talked about the money is evil. If you've got those unconsciously, that you can't make money, or you can't have money, or you know, something, greed, money is bad, you being wealthy is bad, all that stuff, some of that is woven unconsciously, not even from your own core beliefs, but yet your picked up beliefs from your parents and your ancestors and the collective, like we're working together here. So like, you know, it's important that we're all getting stealth on these belief systems, because then we're like, fly, you know, when we're monadically thinking about these things together. So we want to make sure that we look for unconscious beliefs. Did my mom or dad felt about being rich and about me being rich? So I had one, can I say this? Yeah. I knew getting this ring was going to challenge someone in my family. And it did. I immediately saw them go, well, she could probably afford this and this for me and that for me. Why didn't she get this for me? Like, oh my God. I put it away on the next time I was with them. And again, that's not them. It's somewhere I'm projecting them. It was an identified belief that I need to clear up. I think you had brought it up too. Like, well, if I have money.
Yeah, post notes.
People, and then I'll flip mine. People in my family love that I'm affluent and wealthy, and they see that in themselves now, and they see like, oh my God, it's time. Okay. And the other big one on parents is, do you think they want you to be wealthy?
On the surface or underneath?
All of it.
Can I say it doesn't matter because it's my choice in the end?
Yes, that's the conscious you. So we would want to check in anywhere in the subconscious that has memorized, because then you go to get, you're wealthy and you are, but you go to really experience next levels. And if your parents aren't around, then it may be an archetype like parents that show up to say, oh no. And again, it's all you, because again, it's magneticking in. you're literally sifting through your aura. As you expand, you sift different topics on wealth, which we're dealing with. If I'm going to expand and have more money coming towards me, all of a sudden, like this boulder's right there that has something connected in the subconscious that says, well, what about this? Like the QuickBook thing this morning, right? Intuit. You know, like, obviously I programmed it to say Intuit QuickBooks. Denied. And I was like, well, what's right about this? And Spirit said, well, you don't want to go through them. So that's what I wrote back. Well, we do it. This is how we do it. You can send the money this way or this. You can do Zeal or Shopify secured payments. And it wasn't them, it's me. But I'm getting to see what's in my field. And then I can fine tune and clean up that everything always works out for me with all payments coming in. Everything works out for me connected to differing point of views around taxes. Everything works out, so you just keep going and like you're driving, you might as well use that time wisely. Like, okay, what else? So beliefs, what your parents think about you, what your relatives, your cousins, anybody that you are going to be around. What do your friends think about you being wealthy? They love it. You got to start putting that in through conscious thoughts to override any subconscious material. Start filling up your aura with new thoughts about all these things. So that when the experience comes down the line and you don't do, the belief system, oh, when that happens, this is going to happen. Other shoe's going to drop, whatever that belief system is. All that means is that you didn't understand what was in your subconscious mind, and it's just coming in to be recycled. It's actually not a bad thing. It's coming home. So don't get all bent out of shape about it. Just go, okay, everything that is. Glad we were transfiguring that one. Whew. And then I'm going to take a nap, and I'm going to take a walk, or I'm going to go to sleep, and tomorrow it's going to be like this, or you can do my technique. Pull it in. Okay.
I was listening to Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, right before coming in. And it was at this one part where she's like, 300 or 400 times a day, say this one statement: I approve of myself.
Yes.
And I was like, kind of thinking through like all the things you just said. And I was like, wow, this is just like one statement. And she's like, it becomes like a repellent of all the negative stuff. And I'm just like, yo, it's like the force field. I approve of myself.
Yes.
Like,
the number one thing for money to come in is your self-love, your self-acceptance, your self-approval. You have self-worth, self-love, approval, acceptance, 100%. And everyone that loves and adores you, people love and adore you. They love you, they accept you, they think you're so amazing. When you got you covered and you got statements like that going, so you're in. Get ready. Have fun. Do great things. Mm-hmm. Spread it. Okay, let me make sure I got, okay, so banks, taxes, trust, gifts. Sometimes you're just meant to gift people. And then what happens, you do all this gifting, you're on purpose, your good deeds, you got high worth. Then all of a sudden, you got people walking in going, 5,000, that's nothing. You're worth, like, I dreamt about you. The work we're going to do together is phenomenal. Let's go. And that's what happens. Again and again in this experience. Any questions? Or then we're going to do some cleanup.